Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's now wait for students to join. See, we encourage the audience to switch on your camera if you're comfortable. It will be nice, right? Though we would like to have offline session. Now that we are pushed into online mode, it will be better, no? When we have a external person coming in, it will be better to have your camera switched on, no, for some time. Okay. So please switch on your camera. It will be better. Krishnika, Shilpa,
Yes, sir.
please switch on your camera. Switch on the camera, please. We'll be having forum inauguration also shortly, right? And so this will be on 16th of September, meaning Thursday, right? And we have also invited one top person to interact with our students, right? So, fine. And our resource person would be joining us now from Middle East. Okay, and please make use of the opportunity to ask us much questions as possible. So exactly by 2:30, I think we'll be able to start that, right? Who are the people doing the college prayer, MC? Shilpa, are you aware? The students doing MC? And
No, sir.
No. Okay. Esther ma'am, please check if these people have come. Uttam, Amrita Varshini, Anjali, please switch on your cameras. So it will be a very nice, interesting session for about 35 minutes, and then followed by a question and answer session, Q&A. Uttam, you are done with the vaccination? Uttam, you can unmute and you can speak. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The second dose is yet to be done. It will be after 17th.
Okay. Where do you stay, Uttam?
Sir, I'm currently here in NDA Khalagwasla. My father is posted here.
In Karnataka?
No, sir, Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Okay. Okay. All right. So previously you were staying in Maharashtra only or in some other place?
No, sir, I was there in Chennai, but my father is posted here, so we came for the time being.
All right. All right. Okay. So when are you likely to come to Chennai, Uttam?
Sir, it depends on the day I get vaccine. As soon as I get vaccine, we'll leave this place.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, how was your classes going on? Your SPSS classes?
Sir, they were great, sir. They were
Okay.
fabulous in the other classes that were there last semester. It was quite good.
I think you'll be having your end of semester first year exam coming up couple of weeks time.
Yes, sir. I guess it's from 24th.
All right. Okay. Shilpa, are you still in NCC doing something this year?
Yes, sir. For now, I left with my CCERT exam, but I'll have flying most probably might be in the end of September or in November.
Okay.
Not sure.
Okay. Are you going in for regular parade every Saturdays? Do you have that now?
Yes, sir. I came to college to train my juniors, as well as we are most likely to have Sundays and Saturdays. We are not sure because selection for first years is yet to be done. So we are supposed to do this selection, sir.
Okay. You are in Air Wing, right?
Yes, sir.
What are you posted as now?
Sir, can you repeat the question, sir?
So what is your designation now?
I'm Cadet Senior Under Officer, sir.
Cadet Senior Under Officer.
Yes, sir. CSU.
Okay. Now, how many Air Wing cadets are there in NCC currently?
So currently in the senior batch there are 10, and in the juniors are also 10, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now we will be having even our first year students joining us live here. Okay. So maybe you can also say something to them, about NCC, right? So they are passionate, to join Army, Navy, or Air Wing. Which one is better?
Air Wing, of course, sir. No
Okay,
doubt.
would you like to say what people do in Air Wing, in NCC actually?
So NCC as such, it is similar, sir, for Air Wing, Navy, and Air Force. But there is a slight difference that in Air Wing, we go for flying, which not everybody used to get because it's very costly affair. And you get to go for flying sorties with the CO, the commanding officer, and you'll be trained in detail. That not every common man will understand what is a flap, what is a slat, and what are the technical aspects of flying the aircraft. So you will be given as a student pilot, you'll get to fly, sir. And this is a very costly affair. Not everybody gets this chance. As an Air Wing cadet, you get it. Whereas in the case of Navy, you get to go for sailing camps and other camps which are related to shipping and skiing and things like that, sir. But yeah, in Air Wing, it is about flying. It is more about flying, and you have a specialized subject called Blue Book. And in that book, you'll be given in detail, and you will have the SOP for your aircraft as well, sir. So once you get thorough with your SOP and your Blue Book, you'll be given certain times. You'll be asked to write an examination, and then based on that, you'll be chosen to fly the aircraft. But definitely, all the cadets before getting their third years done with the C certificate in Air Wing NCC, they'll get to fly the aircraft. So we are currently having Pipistrel Virus SW80 aircraft. Pipistrel Virus SW80 aircraft, which is manufactured by Slovenia, European Union, sir. That is the training aircraft which I using, sir.
Okay, now Shilpan, just to ask something more about this until we start this program. I think we have approximately about 6-7 minutes left with us. Right? what do you actually do in flying now? Where do you do this flying? Are you doing it in Chennai or in Tambram or elsewhere?
Yes, sir. It happens in Tambram Air Force Station base, and we are given one particular airstrip in which we will the CO will take us for the sortie. And yes, sir, you will get to go around. The radius. You have the takeoff and you have the circuit that is to be done. Then after which you will be landing the aircraft in the airstrip after getting the permission from the ATC. So Tambram Airbase is what we are using, and nothing more than that. So it's only the airbase in Tambram.
Is there minimum so many hours of flying you need to do? And have you done flying?
So I was about to do, but because of COVID, there was restrictions in Air Force Station Tambram, and we were not allowed to go inside. And minimum hours of flying, especially, it is for best cadets who are going for Delhi. And I was chosen for best cadet as well as, but in that case, because of COVID, we didn't get to go for flying, sir.
Now, what was the experience of some of the cadets who have been to flying? Now, what was the experience, going up in the air?
Sir, definitely, sir, because it is an experience that cannot, you can't express in words for some people who are going for the very first time. Not even they're gone in the commercial airlines. And now you get to sit in the cockpit and you have your commanding officer besides you, guiding you. And he will, it is not like the commanding officer will control the aircraft with the instruments. It is also the students who've been flying. They'll get the flying experience and they'll be given to handle the aircraft.
All right. Okay. So we've been seeing a lot of aircrafts, being there in college. We can see a lot of these aircrafts coming up in the sky, and it's a great feeling, to be there up in the sky. Okay. So I've also been an NCC cadet from Air Wing when I was a student. Okay, so I didn't go through the entire process, but anyway, was passionate, of getting into Air Force at one point of stage. Okay, anyway, it's a nice thing that the women are taking up this in a big way. Do we have any illustrious people from our department or from the college who has been in Air Wing before?
So, actually, Nishita Senior, she was third year passed out, and she was in Delhi RDC cadet. She represented one TNPA in Tamil Nadu, Pucheri, Andaman Nicobar Directorate in Delhi level for Rajpath, sir. Whereas I got an opportunity for Rajpath as well as Best Cadet. Best Cadet, from there on, I was dropped. Because I had an opportunity for YEP Youth Exchange Program. I gave the selection process and it was almost done nearly. And only at that point of time, they asked us how many hours of flying you have undergone. Mostly for Best Cadet, they have to undergo at least 3 hours of flying. And from there, we got dropped and I came for Youth Exchange Program. Youth Exchange Program selections was done, but they couldn't release the results because there are many countries which is not accepting to conduct this event. If it would have happened, it definitely would have got a very good exposure. There are 11 countries like Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Vietnam, Singapore. In such countries, they interchange cadets. Their cadets will come to our country, and our cadets will go, and they'll be given a span of 11 days and so to attend the trainings with them. But this time, it was almost got shortlisted, but bad luck, sir. We didn't get the result because of the COVID-19, sir.
All right, nice to hear from you, Shilpa. Now we have Uttam there in
Thank you, sir.
Maharashtra from NDA camp. Uttam, now what is your experience of your dad being in armed forces? Are you having any idea of getting into the armed forces, Uttam Tripathi?
So it's quite fabulous here in NDA. Day, evening, starting from the morning 6, you always hear trumpet sounding, march and shouts of cadets. It's overwhelming, I would say. And yeah, there is kind of dream to get into armed forces, but then again, the selection process is quite a tough job to do. So yeah, it's very.
Do you have any intentions of getting into armed forces through NDA or Indian Military Academy or CDS? Do you have any idea of that?
Sir, NDA won't be possible as I have already crossed the age.
12th standard, yeah.
Bad luck. And the other remaining chance would be through CDS. I can get into IMA or OTA, as INA and IAS require physics and chemistry in 12th, and also engineering degree. So I'm none of that. So Army, IMA, and OTA is the option for me if I have to go in armed forces.
All right. All the very best to Uttam Tripathi and Shilpa now for your aspirations to get into the armed forces. We wish that the first years who are looking at you all, okay, would be inspired to join NCC and to take up armed forces in a very, very serious way. Not necessarily to maybe if it's a career, it is okay. But there are so many other things you can learn, apart from career, maybe discipline, attitude and things like that. Okay. All right. So we are almost set. Esther ma'am, Serena ma'am, are we set? Serena ma'am and Esther ma'am, are we set? We are set. Now we can start. We have the resource person in. Now, one request is please switch on your cameras as much as possible, right? So,
yes, sir. So over a call, I couldn't respond.
yes, now we have third year students alone here for an interactive session, and the first years are joining through another stream. I think we have kept the mic unmute for everyone. So please mute it, and if you have any queries, please unmute and you can ask. Serena ma'am, please let us know once we have set. Now we can start. We're waiting for your direction.
Divya? Divya, connected? Are you able to hear me clearly? Such speaker ma'am, she's trying to join, so we'll just wait for a few more minutes.
Okay. I think the speaker is there. Hello, ma'am. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Armstrong here. Nice to meet you, ma'am. And we have the final year students here, primarily. Final year BBA, Business Administration students here. And we are waiting for the session.
Great. So let me know if we can start.
Yeah, now we have just a kind of a format, an introduction, and we would start in about 10 minutes time. Divya, are we set, Divya?
Yes, so we are ready.
Okay, we'll start, Divya.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Divya John, and it is another Tycoons Talk, and we're glad to have a tycoon with us today to speak to us and share her expertise. But before we get into that, let's start with a word of prayer. So, Timothy, could you please lead us with the college prayer?
Thank you. Let's close our eyes. O thou who in days past didst put it into the hearts of good men to found this college, for the imparting of sound learning, the building of character, and the spread of spiritual truth and knowledge of thyself. Bless our college and schools. May love, unity, and brotherhood be learnt here. May industry, uprightness, and courage grow here. And from this place, may there be sent forth continually a stream of men and women who shall serve thee faithfully in thy world. Amen.
Thank you, Timothy. So, actually, could you please do the introductory remarks and welcome the speaker?
Thank you, Divya, and thank you all the students for coming on time. Now we have a good number of students who have joined in Zoom, and it's a great privilege, and it's a opportunity for us to welcome our chief guest, the speaker, a resourceful person, Mrs. Priscilla Kambata, now who has been in the industry for about 27 years, rich experience, and she has brought with her, almost 3 decades of experience to share with young minds. Okay, and she's been a business coach and an owner of Kind, okay, an entrepreneurial development initiative. And this Tycoon Talk is basically to bring people from the industry. Okay, so we would be giving inputs in terms of academics and latest developments, technical skills, but people from the industry, give their life experiences, to the students, and it's a kind of a win-win situation for the students, and it would definitely mold their personality, because the students are not aware of what the industry is going to be, what are the skills required in the industry, particularly the first 3 to 5 years of your career. Now that would definitely make or break your career. And what are the expectations industry has, and how to survive and how to come on top of it. Okay, now we have this Tycoons Talk, where we bring people from the industry to interact with our students, and most importantly, people who have adequate experience to share with our students. Okay, now from different domains, people from HR, people from finance, people from marketing, so that the students get a feel of what has been there in the market. Okay, and that would definitely help them to decide, yes, this is a career which I would like to get into. And in today's environment, people have to be updated continuously, right? And a person was walked down by that road and coming and saying to another person, this road has this advantage, this disadvantage. These are the precautions one has to take, and that is what this Tycoons Talk is all about. And today's topic would be on profit boosters and how to enhance your performance. It could be on a daily basis. Need not necessarily to earn profit for your company. That's on one side, but to develop your potential, to rediscover your potential, and that is what the profit boosters might be. And you make it as a habit, right? Definitely that would go into your DNA, and definitely that would change the way in which people conduct their everyday life, and that will enhance your performance as well. Okay, with this few words of introduction, and maybe we are privileged to have with us a resource person, and we're looking forward to a very nice interactive session. Now, at the end of it, we'll be having question and answers also. So we would be very happy that more students interact with the resource person, so that we get make this a nice and a truly memorable one. Okay, so we welcome you, and over to the master of ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this warm words of appreciation. It's great privilege, and I'm wondering what I can tell to students, because this is the first time I'm talking to such a young age of the future business entrepreneurs and the diaspora of people who are some of you are going to be real great entrepreneurs. And I'm really saying that all of you should be the greatest entrepreneurs, each and every one of you. Jobs are meant for, keeping our brains idle, but entrepreneurship is something that you can create and serve others beyond any limitations, and do good for yourself and do good to this planet Earth. That's the first thing about entrepreneurship. Now, I just want to share with you a quick presentation, if that's okay with you. And I want to make it very, very, can you see the slide or no? Hello?
No, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Now we can see.
Now you can? Okay. So while Mr. Armstrong was saying that it's very important that you grow in the right direction, all of you as businesses, who understands the definition of business? Can somebody tell me, because I'm really not used to talking to a screen where there are no videos on, so it's a bit uncomfortable. So I think you can make me a little comfortable by answering this question. You're all business administration students, so do you know what a definition of business is?
Any economic activity that is done with the motive of earning profit legally.
Wow, this is so beautiful. Who said this? I really want to give you a round of applause. You know, I have a seminar for entrepreneurs every week in Dubai, every week, and very few people can give this definition, which is a complete holistic definition. Because one thing is for sure, if you're not doing profits, then you're doing charity. And the whole thing of business is about generating profits in an ethical way, which is serving and helping others. So thank you very much for that answer. Now, quickly, before I have to even say to you guys, you must have done BBA, and probably you will go and do MBA, and probably you might go and do some more masters into business studies. But I have to tell you, there is no school yet which teaches anybody how to do business. It's bookish, like Mr. Armstrong said it. It's very bookish, but when it comes to practicality, business is about your team leadership. It's about your marketing capability. It's about your financial capability or financial literacy. And of course, sales literacy, and then systems and processes and a whole plethora of things. And what? You are at the end of it without any resources. That's business. Okay, but nobody teaches us how to manage that big jugglery thing to get into profits. So remember, I'm going to give you just key important things in this half an hour's discussion that we're going to have, and see how you're going to like and see whatever it is. Is it fair? Will I get a yes from you on this? Do you think I should go that way to make you know what business is about and how to earn profits?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm sorry, I'm used to this thing. So I'm in a coach mode now. Usually I ask people, can I be a coach for the next 2 hours? But I'm asking you for the next 30 minutes. Now, what we're going to really solve is, I have to tell you, business owners always do business through gut feeling. And the definition of my definition of gut is gave up thinking. So business is about doing a lot of critical thinking and saying, how can I do something very different? So this is what it is. It's about gut feeling. That means you don't want to rely on gut feeling. You want to rely on financial literacies. Anybody knows what are the key financial statements that we have to really look at during business, in the business? Any financial statement or any, where do you look at when you look at whether business is doing good or bad in financial terms? Other than bank account, of course.
The balance sheet.
Balance sheet. What else?
Trial
The
balance.
cash flow statement, the income statements.
Beautiful. The cash flow statement is very critical. Your income statement and balance sheet is, but yes, you want to know where your predictable cash flow comes from. How do you think we will get the right predictable cash flow in business? Brilliant entrepreneurs of the future, can you tell me, how can you have a predictable cash flow for your business, which is, you know that the tap is flowing continuously with business? How will you get that? Which is the first thing you should do? Any guesses? How will you get business, guys? Simple, very simple. How do you think you...
Investment.
Investment, okay. What else?
Marketing.
Marketing, awesome, awesome. Okay. I'm really telling you, everyone, you all are brilliant here. I don't get these answers from entrepreneurs. And I'm actually on a very different note today. I talk very differently when I'm speaking to entrepreneurs. But this is, I'm thoroughly enjoying what you're saying. But I have to say that there are three things. One is you must know financials. Second is you should know your marketing to get the steady lead flow. Third is you need to build a system. As soon as the money flows in, you need to build systems, and systems are different. And you need to build a team, because the solopreneurs can only go as far as they can. Okay, so we're just going to quickly look at some of the things. Now listen, the first 80%, you go to Entrepreneurs Inc., Forbes, or whatever you want to look at and research. I'm saying 80, they're saying 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Any guesses why that happens? Give me a few reasons why that happens. Why do businesses fail in the first 5 years so drastically?
They are not able to continue to have profits in the company. So they run into losses, and so they have to close down the company.
Right? Okay, so they run into losses because they put their money in the wrong places and then they don't get it, right? But one of the biggest reason, you know what, is burnout. Can you see the burnout there that I have written? Burnout is something that you're not getting your business, losses are happening. Now I think I'm giving up, you know. So that is one thing that is very, very critical. And the only way to avoid your burnout is for a business owner to keep learning on how to do business. There are so many podcasts, there are so many coaches, there are so many materials to read. But business owner, you know what he does or she does? We all sit and worry and sit into a mode of fear. And that's the last thing to do for a business owner. So if you're thinking to do that, I would say that don't come up with a situation where you're into fear mode. Wherever, however low you are, you don't want to get into the burnout mode. But one of the things is you also have to know to keep your business very, very simple. And the simplicity of it is not saying, oh, I got this idea, let me do this and let me do that. I'm the only brilliant person and I have hundreds of ideas. And that's one of the reasons, if I'm an interior design and fit out company, wow, I know I do so much of work for restaurants. Let me open up a restaurant business, you know? So you don't want to do that. You want to run one business into a profit generating with the right team, right systems, right leadership that you want to grow in, right? So is it okay till here? Have you understood till here? What's the first thing is you don't want to do is what? Run your business into a fear mode. Always be forthright. Be a Sachin Tendulkar, come forward and hit the strike. You get what I'm saying? Are you with me? Give me a thumbs up on that, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is a typical cycle of failure and I just don't want to, but I want to say to you this. Who's this guy? I'm sure you don't know him, but he is the coach for, who's he? Roger Federer. Name any sport in the world or any Olympian who has got the medal and he's not had a coach in the background. I'm saying this is because when you go ahead in business, please see that you have some business entrepreneur who's a mentor or you have a coach like me at the back end, because that's where you need someone to tell you, this is a wrong decision, don't jump here. Go and take the knowledge and education from the person. Remember, you take that one extra push-up when you have that coach. So if you're making $100,000 today, there's that coach who tells you, make it 150K. That's not right. That gets you going, you know. So it's very, very critical that you have a coach in the background. And it's very important that you keep your business learning. Now there is a different mindset that a business owner should have. And a business owner should always have a mindset of taking the responsibility, accountability, and ownership. What are the typical things that we blame into business? Can you tell me? Business owners, what do you think business owners must be blaming usually when they don't do well in
The market.
business? Market. Yes, what else? Awesome, Timothy.
Government.
Government regulations, okay. What else?
Sometimes their employees.
Absolutely, teams, absolutely. So government, market, teams, everything. So what happens is when you're blaming somebody, you are doing nothing. You go into a comfort zone, and the last thing for any human being on this earth is to be in comfort zone, right? You ought to challenge yourself to take newer goals. So the definition of business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. Commercial is about giving and taking, economical. Profit, if you don't make profit, you're a charitable organization. That works means you should have systems in place so that the team is not dependent on you every time and the owner is not sucked in about how to do, what to do. And then without you, you should not be in the business. You should be going on the business to grow your business, scalability, different investments. That's the definition of business. So we're going to move on from there to look at something like this. So I want to tell you that this model of business, if you see, this is a 6 steps model. And I won't be going through all this in the interest of time today, but one thing I'm going to tell you step by step what it really says is about every business owner. What is the definition? When do you become a master in something? When you do it 100 times, maybe a million. A Tiger Woods or Dhoni has to really practice that strike at least 1,000 times to get that one strike right towards that boundary, right, to the century. So you, as a business owner, you have to develop mastery in your thinking, whether it's time mastery, putting a dirham, dollar value, rupee value to every hour in your business, or putting knowing the financial literacy, or looking at how you deliver. It's one thing to get an order, it's one thing to get a customer, but it's a different thing to execute it where the customer will come back to you again and again. So you have to master that. Then you have to look at having a predictable cash flow, which is a niche, which is what I'm going to show you, 5 boosters. That's about marketing. And the rest is about, how you build systems, how you build team. Unless you have these 4 absolutely running in good cohesion, then you go into synergy where you are really, it's a well-oiled machine. Your business is a well-oiled machine. And then you get results. Now I have to tell you, most business owners really don't do those hard push-ups, whatever it takes to do in the beginning. That's why they give up. And that's what happens. Never give up, sticking there. The pressure cooker, the steam builds up, but at the end, the whistle goes. Like a Nelson Mandela says, why would I take my pressure cooker off the fire when the whistle is almost going to blow? So most business owners do that. So you remember all this when you're getting to be an entrepreneur. I would highly urge you to think of not getting into that mode and sticking on there to do your business. I want to really take you to, in the interest of time, the 5 profit boosters, okay? Now the 5 profit boosters is this kind of a thing I want to say to you. Somebody said marketing. So which you can see here, what is the number? Why do you think I have put the 3 things, customers, revenue, and profits in red? Anybody answer me? Why do you think? You all are very smart, so I'm not going to ask you easy questions. I'm going to ask you really good, tough questions because you're giving better answers than entrepreneurs.
Maybe because they are variables.
And they're measurable forms of how you can tell if you're doing well or not.
Okay, measurable forms of telling how you're doing well or not. So are you saying it's the outcome?
Yes.
No, okay. Maybe because of its instability.
Okay.
Because these 3 are the major factors that serve your profit. Higher the customers, higher revenue, higher your profit.
Very right. And do you think most businesses, whether it's corporates, whether it's smaller businesses, do they measure all this year on year, month on month, quarter on quarter, same period last year, year to date? Do they all measure all this? Customers, revenue, and profit, do they?
Yeah, they keep an eye on how they're doing, I think.
Absolutely,
on
absolutely.
A quarterly basis, or I don't know if it's decreased now.
I have to tell you that all of them keep an eye on it on monthly basis. Some keep it even on daily basis, especially the cash flow tracker. Here's one thing I have to say. All of this is an outcome. You don't want to look at the report card, how you're doing. You want to look at how much homework you're doing every day, isn't it? To get the report card. Didn't you do that in school? And we never look at these homeworks. How many leads are you generating on a weekly basis, on a daily basis? That's important. Where is the tap or the conveyor belt of your leads coming from? That is very important for you to do. And that's what we call a test and measure document. And that's what we do with entrepreneurs or business owners. They want to really look at that. So like someone said, marketing to get that predictable cash flow, the first thing is you want is the leads. If you don't have the leads, then it's a big problem. To get the leads, what do you need to do? Anybody?
Research, or I mean, right now you can buy customer information because everything's big data.
So buying of database, okay.
Yeah.
What else is a way to
You
get
can
leads?
cold call people.
Cold calling, okay. What else?
Mailing, you can cold mail.
Cold mails, emails, are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And social media marketing, that's the biggest thing now.
Beautiful. Social media. And I mean, I can give you more than 80, 90 strategies. Referral selling, you know, there's a lot of strategic alliances, partnerships, your TV promos, you know, your flyers, a lot of things happen. But yes, you need to know what works best for you. And you need, what most people do is they're lazy and they just work through referral selling. But you should have at least 5 sources of leads that will work well for you. And out of those 5, usually 2 work really well. And that doesn't mean you stop the other 3. Yeah. So number of leads is very important. So you need to have a real good marketing plan. It's not like you brush your teeth in the morning and say, today I'm going to do this lead. No, you want to have a marketing lead. So if I'm doing, as I said to you, I am doing seminar every week in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi and sometimes in Qatar, in Bahrain. Now, when I do that, we have to do a 3 months of marketing plan for that. How much budget will go into it? What is the estimated leads that we're going to get? What is the customer acquisition cost for that? And so you have to build your marketing plan and the calendar for it. And then you have to talk to your marketing content manager and do all that. So you have to do things in the right way. So that's how it is about number of leads. Next, when you do number of leads by conversion rate, it's going to give you customers, right? So what is the conversion rate? What do you really need to do to convert those leads?
By providing satisfaction through our service or products.
That you will get only after he becomes a customer, you will deliver to him. But how will he become
Follow-ups?
Follow-ups, okay. Sales, follow-ups, yeah.
Make sure that your advertisements or whatever convey what you do for the customer and that you're meeting their needs.
Absolutely. So nowadays, I mean, it's getting a little old method to really have a salesperson go and ask them, sir, can you buy our product? We're good. We sell this. Or there are hundreds of people calling on phone nowadays. Now, the easier way is people just do Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I'm selling this. Would you be interested in that? Tick, tick, tick. Send it by chat. Sale done. So there are different ways, but you ought to be very fast in what's really working in the industry. So conversion rate is so important. Tell me one thing, is number of leads important or the higher conversion rate percentage is important?
Conversion rate.
Beautiful. So you really need to know how your sales process is going to be. What is going to be a unique selling proposition? What is going to be your perfect future client to whom you're going to be selling? What is going to be your special offer and which is a minimum viable product by which you can get them into and sell with it, like the McDonald's fries and before they buy a burger, you know? So you really need to create that sales process for conversion, not just by selling through a salesperson, okay? So that's great. And the next one, so you get customers. Now, what could be the number of repeat orders? It's very important that you get repeat businesses from the existing customers rather than going and searching for newer leads. Okay, so if for me, I'm a business coach. So for business coaching, oh yeah, I need to know how to generate my profits. Well, good. But if you want to have systems and processes, why don't you tie up with one of our systems and processes guy who's in the IT? If you want to know how to do financials, okay, we have our account management accounting. So you get a repeat business from them. Again, you want HR policies. I'm in the HR industry for a very long time, and I really do strategic HR for someone. Oh, how do you reduce your manpower cost? Okay, give me 3 months of time and I'll bring from this to this. Again, repeat order. from the existing customer. So I might charge them, let's say 100,000 dirhams a year, but I see that I get at least 150,000 dirhams out of them additionally as repeat business. You get what I'm saying? It's very important you keep your mind on the repeat orders. And the average rupee sale has to increase. So you can increase your average rupee sale by increasing your prices or selling them in volumes or whatever. Okay, and what is profit margins? So once you do, so number of leads by conversions is going to give you customers, okay? From those customers, you have repeat orders. You increase minimally your price by, let's say, 10 rupees to a volume of customers, your revenue increases. While you get the revenue, you want to really keep a tab on profit margins. Profit margins are really, as you already know, you're smart kids. You already know profit margins are through cutting costs, right? You want to know where your cost of sales or cost of goods sold is, how you're taking care of your general admin expenses. I mean, I always say nickels and dimes, line by line. If anything is not letting you, any expense that doesn't let you buy new customers or retain existing customers, whack it off. So you want to be very, very stringent and prudent on looking at your margins. All of this to generate profits, okay? I'm going to give you an example. Let's think this is a retail store. Now it's not as big as India, in Dubai. So we have number of leads coming through, let's say in a year, 4,000. And the conversion rate is 25%. So the customers we get are 1,000. Now the customer, let's say it's a watch store, a retail store for a watch company, and they buy one extra watch and they also buy a belt, okay? So they have 2 transactions here and the average value is 500, okay? That means the revenue is 1 million, okay, which is 10 lakhs in Indian rupees. And then profit margins, let's say it's 25%. So the profit is 2,50,000. I've put it in this because it's 200, we say $250,000 or 250,000 dirhams, but in Indian methodology, 2,50,000, right? Till here it's clear. Let me understand if you understood what I'm saying. Is it all clear? Can I go ahead to just show you how this can be increased?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions on this? I know I'll take a questions later, but I want to know if you haven't understood this, please do not feel shy to ask questions and I can move on. Okay, I'm going to think it's okay. So let's go by, I want to say, I want to increase this by 10%. So what is the profit here in the current one, in the current situation? Please tell me someone, what's the profit here?
250,000.
250,000. What's the revenue?
1 million.
And what's the customer?
1,000 customers.
Great. Thank you so much for the participation. Now, the number of leads here is 4,000. If I want to increase it by 10%, is it possible? If I have 10 leads, can I make 1 extra lead? Is it possible?
I think so.
Who feels it's not possible or it's a think so? What does others feel? I want to hear either yes or no, or a confidence or a no. Please let me know. Is it possible to get 1 lead in every 10 leads?
Sure, ma'am, we can.
Yes,
We can. If we have a right marketing plan and if we have the right methodology to look at how we look at our marketing, sure, we can get 1 extra lead. Let's say you do a Facebook boost in the right strategy, then you are going to get the 10% increase. So let's say that 10% increase is 4,400, right? In this case. And if I want to increase my conversion rate, I get a fantastic unique selling proposition. I'm saying we are the best in this. I'm giving a guarantee. I'm using different methodology to increase my conversion. So by another 10%, I'm going to 27.5% of my conversion, which means my customers go from 1,000 to 1,210. How much is that percentage? Hey, Indian kids, You're way smarter than anyone in the world in maths. I want to know how much is that increase in percentage? We are way smarter in maths than in the world.
2.5.
21, buddy. We're 21% more. So you just increase 10% here, 10% here, and you get a 21%. So it's a world of compounding today. So it's not addition. So if you just do this, you get a hike of 21% in your customers only. So you want to really remember this, even in terms of your repeat orders. If you do 10% and in average dirham sale, you just, if it is 500, you just increase by 550. If you're selling a product for 20, you sell it for 22, you still get an amazing revenue of 1.4 million, which is 46% higher in your revenue. Isn't that great? Who thinks it's great? You're not going to feel great because you look at it as numbers, but when business owners are doing business, it's amazing for them. Okay, so you must remember, and then you have your profit margins, you get on to a 60% increase in your profit, 61%. Now I have to tell you this. If you do those 5 boosters, so what are the 5 boosters, profit boosters here? I'm not going to bother about customer revenue and profit because that's your report card. I'm going to be bothered about this. How much am I increasing my leads week on week? How am I improving my conversion rate? How am I getting my repeat orders? How am I increasing my average dollar sale and profit margins? I have to say, it's highly difficult to do on all 5, but I'm saying if you do even on any of the 2, you are home in getting your profits. But these 5 are your profit boosters. Yeah, so with that, I really want to say a big thank you, and I'm open for questions to you. I'm going to keep this slide on in case anybody needs. Please go ahead and ask for questions if you have. Any questions?
Yeah, ma'am, you said that even when you're trying, like say you're trying 5 strategies and only 2 seem to be really working, you said still make sure you're still doing the other 3. But isn't that in comparison, won't it kind of be like an extra expense, like the return on investment is not that great? So why do we still keep doing the other 3?
Okay, you're not investing into anything, right? So if you're doing, let's say you're doing marketing leads, if let's say you're spending 1,000 dirhams into a particular marketing leads, you want to test and measure it because you are not going to get 100%. If you're going to be into a business where, oh, I will lose if I try, then you don't want it because you're not going to put all your money into one thing. That's a bad decision to do, right? So if you're doing in marketing, you're going to spread your risks and do here and there. And by then you will know, oh, email marketing is fantastic for me. I just need to get a CRM. I need to know, which is very easily available now, Zoho or whatever, and just send the email marketing. Okay, Facebook ads. Okay, I just need to put in this much of boosts because my followers are not so heavy. So I want to do those, boost up through those and get my leads. Okay. So that is okay. But when you are getting, let's say you got 10 customers, instead of running behind for 5 more customers, get business from these 10 customers itself. Sell them your other products and services. So you might do with the 2 really great, but there is no harm on keeping on trying to do with the other. So asking for more business from existing customers doesn't cost you any money. Increasing the price for average dollar sale or average rupee sale doesn't cost you any money. Taking care of your profits margins doesn't cost you any money. You have to be prudent in all of this. That's why I said,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question, a very small one.
Please.
Let's just say I have 5 services that I'm providing, and out of which I am extremely good at 2 of them, and the other 3 I am decent at it. Do you think as a business I should concentrate on all 5 of them? Because let's just say I am getting clients for all 5 of the services, but I'm only good at 2. like myself. And let's say for those other 3 that I'm decent at, I'm kind of outsourcing, but I'm also giving my own opinion to, push the service. Would you prefer, I mean, would you suggest me to just, hypothetically only concentrate on the 2 services that I'm good at, but also, or like, concentrate on just the 3, or like do all 5 of them?
Okay, very good question, Ashish. I want to tell you, if you're a business owner, you don't want to focus on what you're good at. You want to focus on what is your highest margin giving service.
Right.
Okay. So if you are really good at something very micro and small, then the idea is not so great. So you're going to really sweat it out and work to get that 1,000 rupees. Having another service which has very high margin, which only with 2 clients you get the 1,000 rupees. Which one would you do?
Right. Yes, ma'am. The second one.
Yes, buddy. That's what we go on with. We just go with the one which gives higher margin. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I have a question that's on a totally different aspect. Like, what advice would you give to people who are at the start of their career and would like to follow your steps as who would like to become a business coach?
Oh, this is such a difficult question, Krishnika. You've really put me in a corner. And now, when anybody is at the start of their career, I have to say, since nobody teaches anyone how to do business, it's very important for you to know and see how businesses are running. So you ought to really, if you join any organization, and since you're all new students and looking to have a fantastic career, I want to say to you that you really want to have ambition of being a business owner. I have a son who's 24 and he's in the US and he just finished his electrical engineering 2 years ago. And after 1 year, he said, Mom, this is so boring, just doing circuit drawings every time. And he's got a job and I want to really change. And I said, no, you want to keep doing that for 2 or 3 years till you understand the processes of business and then define, and in that course, learn about sales, learn about leadership, learn about accounting, learn about everything, and at the same time, collect funds and then start business. So remember, when you get into business, you are never going to get the money in the first 2 years. It's a hard struggle. So you want to have a pot of money by which you're going to really make money and profits after the second or third year. So remember that. But yes, to be business, you want to be really ambitious and you have to be very hard and not a soft person. You have to be shameless in doing marketing. You have to be having the grit to accept failure and defeat, because you never get success. Even if you're a great merit student, you don't get success in business in the first go. So you have to burn out and get there. So be strong and be very ambitious. And take it step by step. Nothing comes easy. It's like doing another graduation ceremony for opening business. That's my 2 bit of knowledge for you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, why did you decide to become a business coach? What is your inspiration?
Such a beautiful question. Such a beautiful question. So I have to tell you that I was for a long time into HR and in India, and I've been in Dubai for the last ever since 2000 because my husband moved in here, my children born and brought up here. Now the thing is, while I was working in the corporate world, there comes a time that people call it midlife crisis and people give it a very disdainful name. But I really thank I got that something called midlife crisis, because I was a very big numbers person, although in HR, it's very strong on what is a profitability, what is a productivity ratio. And in the company where there are 20,000 employees, people would know that, oh, Priscilla in HR knows Excel really well. So I used to always look at numbers, and whenever I used to sit in these business review meetings, it helped me. But then later on, I realized somebody walked into my office and one day they said to me, you are not cut out for what you're doing. And then they introduced me to another business coach. And that's what it is. I started, that was my calling. I just flew to Vegas. I gave 6 months notice because I was a good employee at that point of time. And they wouldn't let me go, but I flew to Vegas, took the franchise of Action Coach, and it's been going good for me. I had my own struggles, but I paid to my coach $3,000 a month. But I learned the ropes because I wanted to shorten my learning curve. It's one thing, you want to either keep learning on your own or hire somebody who can teach you and you can go up front. So that was my choice. I hope I answered you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. I had a small doubt. Um, like as beginners, as new entrepreneurs to the market, we might have limited amount of investment, money to invest in. So what do you think, like as a business coach, what we should invest in? Because as beginners, as new entrepreneurs in the market, we might be confused with a lot of things, like what should we invest in machines, in land, or in marketing, or like we really don't know what do we invest in the starting, in the beginning age. So if you could give us an advice about that, like how we should decide on that, like because investment is all about, like it's an important factor. So only if we invest in the right place, I guess we might see results in the coming days. So it would be very helpful if you give us advice on that.
Okay. So Timothy, investment is a word to be used when you earn enough money. When you have extra, then you invest. So if you have very little, you cannot invest. Okay. And if you're looking for something like a quick money, we should not have that sort of a thing. Also, it doesn't work well. Now, the point is, business is not about earning money only. Like Mr. Armstrong in the beginning said, it's not about profit. Business is about you liking the client or the prospect that you want to serve. You know that you can help those people, and you know that these people can pay you. Three things, very important. First is you want to like, let's say today, I love coaching medical health sector. I love coaching home care health services. And that's my niche. So if I like those people and I like the people and I know that I can help them in really building these doctors to see how their nurses take care of their patients, how they do it, how to reduce their costs, how to increase their profitability. I love doing that. And I know that doctors are capable of paying me. But if I go to an institute, if I go to a person who doesn't have any money and I say, oh, I really love your business, but he can't pay me, then you don't want to go into business there. So you want to really see, it's about what you like to do. First thing. So my calling was, I want to change people's lives. What's your calling? What you want to really do? Now, doing that, many people get emotional and get saying, I'll open up a restaurant. Well, restaurant is about having the exact number of, if you have 80 seats, do you have 80 cups to be filled in that restaurant to do well? Do you know how to do the shelf life of your products? It's a lot of work. It's not just about doing. I mean, old days were good that people didn't have so much of competition. Today you open one restaurant, there are 10 others on the side, but you should know how to do business. So my advice to you is, investment is something that if you have extra, you invest. But if you have very little, then you have to be very careful into where you put it, to what kind of business you want to go to. You want to stick to that business for the next 10 years, what may. Even if you're bankrupt, even if you are not going to leave it, you're going to turn it around. So it's very important that you have enough funds and to grow your business, or you have a funding partner or investment partner, but they will only do when your credibility comes to a certain level. They know that you are a great person who has done good background, good experience, and then people fund you. But yeah, if you have minimal funding, then please don't get into business, because 3 years is a crucial time for a business.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
I have a question actually.
Sure.
So let's say we start up a business and we actually need to have a lot of employees in order to have an effective business, right? So maybe after 10 years, these employees start to have what is known as the midlife crisis that you talked about. How do you think we can make their morale happy, or how do you think we can make them happy in order for them to stay in the company?
Thanks. Very, very important question and good question, Naveen. Now, listen, employees, you know the term leadership. I read it somewhere that a fish rots from the head. Your business is as good as you are. If you're good, your team is good. You're a reflection to your business. Okay, that's one thing. Other thing is employees always look for better salaries, better work environment, and they move on. So you should accept that certain level of employees will always come and go. But the third thing is important is to enhance your retention of your employees. You really need to have something called the culture. And the culture is built with the rules of the game. So I'm just coaching one of the beauty salons, which is a topmost beauty salon in Dubai. And they have about 70 beauticians. And when I started coaching, I saw the main problem they had is overtime, break time, comp offs, and all of that. And it just took me 10 days to understand them, get the survey, and put something called the rules of the game. And the one problem that that company had was, you know what, putting the mobiles centrally into one basket and not touching it for the 2 hours. If you want to test your mobile, check it every 2 hours. So that became a culture of the company. Now they were not distracted. Then we tried with their overtime issues. Okay, we don't want to give encashment considering today the money is such a big hassle. We said we should take a comp offs within 14 days. So we managed their expectations. We eased their anxiety. We gave them processes. And then now they're working well. So what I'm trying to say to you is the team you have to build your leadership in correcting the employee saying this is not the right way. This is the right way. I'm sorry, this is not working well. You need to do this. It's okay to tell the team that. But it's also important to tell them that what is allowed, what is not allowed. Like gossips are not allowed in any organization. So that's why people usually don't stay with companies that pay the best. People stay with companies that they feel comfortable with. They feel that it's a nice environment. So you will see many people who stay for 30, 40 years, like your parents would have stayed for 30, 40 years, or my dad stayed, so because they felt comfortable in an environment. So as long as you can do that, it's good. So it's leadership and culture, two things.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, one question. Like you have seen a lot of people in the corporate world, and you have seen a lot of people who are entrepreneurs too. So what do you think, like which is the best one, desk job or being an entrepreneur? Because even in our college we are encouraging a lot of students to come up as entrepreneurs. So but there are a lot of things that students nowadays like me who have thoughts behind their minds, and like they think a lot, they have lots of doubts and confusions about how will it be, like should I take it, should I take risk? People are afraid to take risk at the starting. So what do you have to say about that?
So what's your question? I didn't get. I can answer. There were many questions. So what was your question?
My question was,
ready to answer the first bit of your question, then the question changed. So I don't know what the question is.
The question was like, what do you think? Like, is desk job better or being an entrepreneur is better? What do you think? Like, you have seen both the sides.
I think an entrepreneur is better. Desk job rusts you. You just sit and while, your company is paying you for drinking coffee and while looking at the internet. But in the bargain, you are wasting your time. Time is only precious thing where you can be most productive. So entrepreneurship ought to be on the card. That's one thing. Second thing is you are young. People will be hiring. But now jobs are getting lesser. Automation is coming in, right? So you want to always be prepared for a second income. Okay, you don't want to be in a situation, I have nobody hiring me and that's what it is. So let's say you reach 40, 45 and then you have nothing to earn. How do you sustain in that? So that's how we have to do.
Ma'am, I have one question, and this is the last question from my end. Actually, I have two. So the first one is, so as you said, ma'am, being a solopreneur is one of the most hardest things to do, one for yourself and for the company. One for you, because as a solo person, you just can't do everything that needs to be done, and the business won't grow. So I think it's a lose-lose situation. What do you think I should be looking at when I'm trying to look for the core team of my company, that like the co-founder, or what kind of characteristic, or who do you think, or what kind of people do you think I should surround myself with when that kind of question comes? The question being, how can I find the right core members for the company?
Okay, good one. So first thing is you always start with a company's organization chart and the budgets, right? So if you
Right.
know that okay, I need a founder, or then I need a general manager, then I need these many people, then I need workers, all that. Now that is just there. You just want to know, but probably you don't have the budget to hire on those, correct? So
Right.
yeah, but you still need to have that organization chart to say, how will this help me into generating my revenue? How will it increase my rupees into that system? Every position should have a rupee value of how much is it going to not cost you, how much is it going to help you to generate profits or revenue.
Yes,
Once you have that, now comes the kind of person. So I always say you hire attitude, not the skills. You can build the skills, but you cannot build attitude, right? So a person who is very simple and positive, a person who is very energetic. So I have an accountability coach. I mean, you need to have so many, I have so many trainers who apply for such a position. But I take someone who's really high energetic, makes people laugh, and he's also a military man who says to my business owners, did you do your homework? Did you really go and get those leads done? Or did you do your test and measure sheet or whatever? The reason being that because I can make a trainer do my task very fast, but and he will learn the tricks very fast, and his stomach is full and he has a chip on his shoulder. Very difficult for a small business owner to manage. When you're a small business owner, nobody wants to stay with your company.
Right.
So you want to get someone who is at the lower end, but who is also very positive, wants to grow, and makes you feel happy, and you can shape him.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And the last.
Sorry.
The last question I wanted to ask is, ma'am, let's just say the business I want to start is very capital intensive, and should I, right after my UG, do you think I should go do my MBA, or should I just invest that amount that I'm going to put into use for MBA and use it for the company?
Okay, MBA is a certificate. Don't bother about MBA. We Indians are very fond of certificates. Dump it. What you want to really go with, I would advise you, is to go and stick to a business owner and learn how he does business. If you want to do business.
Right.
I promise you, after you become a business owner, also you can do MBA. There's no problem.
Right.
You can go to MIT and do in Oxford and get your business degree. No problem from that. But if you want to do business, then you really want to learn from someone. Join a company where you can learn how to do business. Not a multinational, but join on the ropes. Be a trusted partner with the business owner. Get his trust and learn how to do business. Give him also by your service what you have, and after 3 years time, move out and open your own business.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's a capital intensive, I would say don't put it, because you don't have the experience and know-how, so you ought to learn to do that.
All right, ma'am. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Divya, you had a question. I'm ready to take one, and then I'm okay to go.
Actually, it was exactly the same question that Ashish just asked you. It was literally the same question, and I was going to phrase it the same way he did. But coming back to actually an MBA, another question I have is, does an MBA still hold the value that it did before? Because I've been reading so many reports about how people say that, companies say that maybe the MBA should be restructured. It doesn't provide as much value when they're hiring, and they'd rather hire people with just like a UG degree and train them rather than just have to pay more for the name of having an MBA. So even when you're getting into the corporate world, not as an entrepreneur, but as an employee, does MBA hold as much value now?
So your question is that we should do MBA?
Should we? Yeah.
So what does MBA teach you?
I think a deeper learning into whichever this. So for example, my initial idea was to get into HR. So I always wanted to, like go to Zyme and do my MBA, specialize in HR, and hopefully like enter some company and, get to CHRO or something like that. But now that I look at it, I'm just like, maybe an MBA doesn't hold that value anymore. So I want to know what your experience is.
So if you're looking at, so MBA is Masters of Business Administration. It teaches you the holistic approach of how to do business, right? And unless you have certain corporate value or corporate experience, it makes no sense to have an MBA. That's why in the West, they don't give MBA degrees unless you're 3 years into any kind of job environment. But in India, we need MBAs by time and dozens. So if you want to really get into an HR degree, it's so important that you do something like a CIPD or Masters in Personal Management, which is industrial relations, even in India, SHRMs, human resource management certifications, which are very highly creditable things to do. But I would say, if you want to do your post-graduation, do a little bit of work of 1 or 2 years and then really figure out what you really want to do and then invest into that. I mean, your post-graduation degree is supposed to be one of its kind, which is really valuable. In our days, in my era, it was good to do. I mean, I did my BSc and then BSc chemistry, and then I went into MBA. I even did cost accounting because my brother was a chartered accountant and so on, because in those days, certificates were important. Today, nobody cares of certificates. Today, they care of what value you're giving to the business.
Absolutely, yeah.
However big a corporate it is, they just want to know what value you're giving to them. So, makes sense.
Thank you so much.
But ma'am, how do we convince our parents?
I guess that.
We say the world doesn't want us to have certificates. It's true, but how do we convince our parents that the world doesn't need certificate? Our parents want us to get settled with a desk job and just get us married and all. And we really don't know how to convince our parents, especially like I have seen a lot of my friends who really want to be entrepreneurs, but their parents come up with things like business is all cheating and manipulative and all those kinds of things. So that fear is there inside their minds, that what will happen if I go into business? Will my parents accept me? And those kinds of things are there in the society. So how do we fight against that?
So there's one thing, your parents are very right. They are really fearful about you. They want you to have a good background and good life. They have good interest for you. And it's very understandable. And I am saying the same thing. You need to really earn the money in the first 3 years through a corporate life and then take it. So like they say, earlier days, they used to say, oh, you work hard for 40 years and then all the money you've earned, use it for retirement. Today, it's not like that. It says today you work for just 15 years, make the most of your money and then live on investments after 15 years. So you haven't got that time because the world is moving very fast now. Artificial intelligence, data sciences, Google, everybody is going very fast. So if you're going to stick to a desk job, you don't know when your job will be out of the league. Initially, you need to have that experience for sure, but I would say go on to business at a later stage. That's my take. But please obey your parents.
Ma'am, I have
Oh, sure, ma'am.
So actually, we were talking about how we are going to move to the automation industry, as in robots would come in and then they'll take our jobs and we'll be jobless, right? So not everyone can actually become entrepreneurs, ma'am. So if not everyone can become entrepreneurs, what other jobs could people do? Because if robots are going to come in and take our jobs, then what can we do actually?
As long as people are there, there is going to be activity. If you're looking at jobs as an activity, you know what, when I was your age, I asked my mom the same question. If everybody is going to do MBA, then how will there be enough jobs? But it keeps on multiplying. If you create enough businesses, you're going to create jobs, buddy. So
But
there
then
will be
if
jobs.
these businesses also take up the concept of robots, then what would the humans do? Because not everyone can invest capital and not everyone can, start up a business and be successful in it. So if they're not able to if they're not able to be successful in that particular industry, then what can they do? They can't, not everyone are singers or not everyone are dancers or something like that. So what
I
can
don't know.
people do?
Richard Branson is going to Mars and seeing. So maybe you have jobs created there. I have no idea about that. But all I'm saying is be ready for entrepreneurship always. Not because of jobs itself. I mean, move away from this thought and mentality of jobs. You know, my definition of jobs is just over broke. You just broke to have job. People never have enough money and they don't have enough of confidence. You know, if you buy one a trip to Europe with your business money, it's more satisfying than you buy a one Europe trip with your job, because you really feel that this is what I earned it through my own intelligence. So there is something called satisfaction. You can buy good things and toys like cars, real estate, all that through jobs. But the impact you're having on this planet is going to be through your entrepreneurship. So go there and do new things and see how you can earn more money. Business is about serving people first, doing good to others' lives, doing good for others. Even if you're a restaurant, the person who is making, in the smallest of places at the cheapest of, I don't know, dosas which you'll get, if he's doing with the intention, he's earning maximum money there. So you as good entrepreneurs should think on that term. To serve people, money will come automatically. I think we're over time. I need to go. I have any more, really, but I'm really enjoying. I can go for another 1 hour.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. It's been a very nice and interactive session. And we would definitely keep in touch with you the days and years to come. And we would like you to guide our students into choosing their career as well. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time and your inputs. Thank you, ma'am.
One second, sir. Sorry for interrupting. Thank you, Priscilla, ma'am. Maybe I would ask all the students to come on video for a screenshot. That would be nice. Just for a moment. Quick. Okay. All of you, yes.
Actually, they are very shy to come on camera, right?
It would be nice, if you all are there from the beginning. It's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you be able to send me the recording or picture or something?
Yes, ma'am. We'll send you that, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you. All the best, kids. Y'all are kids for me. So all the best and good for your future career. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, sir. It was good interacting with you. Really very good time with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. The attendance would be based on your meet recording. That will be done. All right. Thank you. You can attend the 4th and the 5th hour. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am? Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, Ashish, tell me.
Ma'am, how do I send you the recording, ma'am?
Save it in your device. Maybe you can share it through Drive.
Yeah,
Give
sure,
me
ma'am. I'll
rights
do
to
that.
edit it. I will take and put it in my Drive.
Okay, ma'am. Done.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Don't forget, okay? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ashish.
How do I send you the recording, ma'am?
Recording to Drive.
Yeah,
Give
sure,
me
ma'am.
rights
I'll
to
do
edit it. I will take and put it in my Drive.
that. Okay, ma'am. Done. Thank you.
Don't forget, okay? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ashish.
How do I send you the recording, ma'am?
நான் எண்ட் பண்ணிருக்கேன் கால் எண்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் நீங்க எண்டா நான் எண்டா இதான் ஹோஸ்ட் முதல்ல லைவ் ஆமா முதல்ல நான் லைவ் ஸ்கிரீன் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணேன் இப்போதைக்கு யூடியூப் லிங்க் ஓபன்ல தான் மேம் இருக்கு டீசெண்டா தானே இருக்கு எல்லாம் அப்ப அந்த லிங்க் அவங்க காமிச்சு விட்டுறாங்க மேம் யூடியூப் லிங்க் ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் வச்சு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட்ஸ் ஆமா நம்ம கூடயும் வேணா யூடியூப் நான் பப்ளிக்கா தான் வச்சிருக்கேன் சரிங்களா